Miss American Cablevision's fall sports lineup. American Cablevision TV10 brings you your favorite high school sports this fall starting September 9th.
On Election Day, after you do this, and cast your vote for CNN's Politics 88 coverage. Throughout the year, CNN provided more live coverage of the campaign, the primaries, and the conventions than any other network. And on Election Day, the world's most advanced news organization will keep you on top of the most important election in American history, like no one else can. On Tuesday, November 8th, vote for CNN's all-day, all-night live coverage of Politics 88.
Welcome back. I want to remind everybody, French Field, Friday evening, 7:30, Pooter Impalas, co-champions with the North Glen Norsemen last year. Let's everybody get out there in big support. We'll get highlights and everything next week on Monday night. Bring your phone calls early, 450-6988. This is Jeffrey Smith, and we'll see you next week on Norseman Football Review. Ahead of time, actually, but that's my fault about the Horizon team. But that's a very big game, and we'll get to that right after we take a look at this week's highlights from the Pooter Impala North Glen Norseman football game.
This is the opening kickoff here, and Sean Burrow hits the ball down to about the 10. The guy fumbles it on about the 5. This here is a third down play after he was in the end zone. He threw it from the end zone. He was open. And then this here is our punt coming back after the opening possession. We get the ball down to about the 25-yard line. Jason Klein takes the ball, reverses his field, and goes back to the right there and gets about 5-6 yards. The ball is out on the 5-yard line. And then we come out of a one-back set, straight drop back, and we get Damon Berry coming over the middle right there and into the end zone for the score. And that's the initial score. Score 6-0. Then we have our extra point team will come out and put another point on the board. There's a lot of excitement there in all those guys. This is Barb Koenig. Barb kicking our extra point. And I said after the game, the one big difference that Pooter didn't have a Barb. That was their problem. That's why they didn't win the football game. And we had a Barb, and we were able to get that one extra point. Sean Burrow does another outstanding job of putting the ball in the end zone here. As you can see, it's very difficult for them to return a football when they can't even move it. So defense plays well in here. And we get a tackle there, and there's a good look at the defensive front. Throw downfield, and they had started a drive there, and Rob Levin picks it off. He did an outstanding job of tipping the ball and then catching it and stalling one of their drives.
Rob Levin moving up the interception ladder this year, one of the league leaders now.
Yeah, he's doing a very fine job. He's starting to really play well like we thought he could during this year. Jeff Powell throws a deep bootleg pattern to Damon Berry, and we get downfield down to about the 35-yard line or so. The drive stalls, and we put Barb in for a field goal of about 30 yards. She gets underneath it a little bit too much there and doesn't quite get it there. Although she does have the leg and the power to get it there, she just was worried about making sure it got over the front there.
Second quarter action, and North Glen doing a good job.
Here we see us moving people back. We like to see them falling the other way so they don't get that extra yard. This here is their touchdown. They throw to their tight end right there. We messed up on a coverage, and in the end zone they go for their 1 point or their one touchdown. Now when they go for their extra point here, we get pressure up the middle, and the young man hits it wide. You'll see the pressure come right through the middle, and he hits it wide, and they miss it. The next kickoff, Damon Berry gets the football and hits a seam right up through there, gets the football clearing out to about the 43-yard line. There was also a face mask penalty that moves the ball down into the Pooter territory.
Damon, one of the all-around players for the North Glen team, does a good job on the return.
Here we have a screen to number 37, Jason Klein, and Jason comes in there and gets a good close-up view for himself there.
Jason will run right through your set beyond the TV show tonight.
This is a great sack right here by Greg Glass, and it was very critical that we pinned them back a little deeper. They were starting to move on us, and Greg did a great job there of the sack. Here they throw the football, and one thing our defensive secondary people are doing a much better job on are moving to the football now. This here is a punt. It's a fake punt. You can see he runs off to one side, and then they set up the screen on this side. Tomaso Brown does a great job of reading it and coming upfield and making a stop before they got to the first down mark. As you can see here, Pooter's doing a good job moving our line around, but Andy Ertl reaches in, grabs the football, and gets the football back for us, number 94 there.
How many turnovers exactly in the game? I didn't get a chance to see that.
There were 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions by Rob Levin, and that 1 fumble right there. Here we throw deep to Damon as well, and just overthrew him a little bit there. We had it open and didn't quite get the football there. Here they're going to throw up the sideline, and he just throws it out of bounds. Close cover there by Tomaso Brown, number 85.
Good coverage by the secondary.
Pooter goes motion across the formation, and we had him sacked right there with Ian Bell puts the clinching grip on him and doesn't let go. Kevin Williams, number 12, the quarterback for Pooter, did an outstanding job of keeping himself from being hogtied like that. Here outside, we just missed that pass to Matt Holstrom. Then Rob Levin goes into punt formation and punts it downfield. Ronnie Herbs, the great returner from Pooter, we were able to get great coverage on him and keep him bottled up all night long. I was real pleased with our coverage on that. Rob Levin did a great job of punting in the second half there as well. Throw over the middle. We got 2 that came into each other. Right there, we got a young man down on the field. His name's Keith Owings, and Keith was knocked out on that play as he hit into Rob Levin. Here's a picture of him coming off the field. Everybody is wondering about Keith. Keith is doing just fine. He just had a slight concussion. He was out for a few seconds, but he's doing fine now. Now we run the sweep here to Jason Klein. Jason gets upfield for about 5 yards. Our offense on the move. Miscued, and we turn upfield, and Jeff does a great job of finding the back and just following him into the hole when they have a miscue like that.
That was a good job.
Here we throw down to Ricky, have him open, and again we just quite overthrow him a little bit and aren't able to get the first down. We have to punt the football, and Rob does a great job, as well as everybody else on the punt team, of getting the ball downfield. I might mention Greg Lassen has been our specialty player of the week for 2 weeks now, just because of his snaps. His long snaps have been outstanding, right on the right hip where they're supposed to be.
Fourth quarter, things get a little bit more tighter. The score remains the same, 7-6.
Everybody's wondering how we're going to come out of this now. There we do a great job of knocking a fourth down, and we take over on downs right there, and we're able to run out the clock at this point. Jason Klein up the middle there for a first down. We're able to keep the clock moving, and 16 seconds left on the clock in the 4th period. And we win the football game by 1 point. And there's some excited people. J.J. Bennett giving the other captain, Bubba Nunnery, number 65, a big bear hug. And some excitement on the Norsemen. We're real happy about the win. It was nice to come out of Pooter with a win under our belts, even though it was 1 point. And I heard some people say it was an ugly win, but a win is a win, and we were excited about it, and we were able to come out of there with a victory, even though it was a close game, and we didn't run away with it, but we were able to hang tough through the whole ball game.
A couple of accolades here that I understand that there was a very fine job and performance. We mentioned a little bit about Rob Levin. Just a great turnaround there as far as the punting department is concerned.
Well, yeah, there's no question on that. He's had some trouble in his punting. Coach Riefel has done a very good job of working with him and giving him the confidence. And finally, when it came down to the important part of the game, when we needed to get out of a hole, Rob Levin hit 2 boomers this week that just took their receivers, and they had to move back. And as you saw, Ron Herbs wasn't even able to field it because he wasn't used to it coming over his head like that.
Again, things have to be getting more and more exciting around the Northglenn camp. More people coming back so they can enjoying all of this, plus the fact that each week you've been able to do something better, not only get a win, but make sure that in some department, in some way, that the Northglenn team got better that week.
Well, that's the biggest thing that you want to do with a football program is you must improve, and I think that goes into any business that you might have, any realm of life that you're in. If you don't improve, you're lost, and we want to keep improving from week to week, and it's something that we've tried to do. As we went into the first ball game, we knew that we were behind, and things just fell apart there for a while, but we're improving, and we keep building on the positive things and not dwelling on negatives.
Got about a little less than 1 minute. We'll get right into Horizon. We'll pick it up again if we need to, but when you get in preparation for a team like this, you mentioned you don't want to overlook. You're 2-1 in the league right now. The kids got to really be concentrating after things that have hurt them early in the year. Do you fear the fact that they might be overlooking at this point?
I don't think so. I believe that our kids at practice today, they worked very hard at trying to do little things correctly, the tackling, the blocking, the running the football, holding the football, being ball aware, the little things, trying to improve on those. And if we continue to improve on those, I can't see us overlooking Horizon, because those little things are going to come up in a ball game anyway.
Exactly, Horizon. And Dominic Capper and the gang will be at District 12. That game is on Friday night. I will add that it is a TV game, so we'll be able to watch the game in its entirety on Saturday at 4 p.m. right here on this very station. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Jason Klein will join us here on the Mexican Restaurant in North Glen, 11165 Irma Drive here in North Glen. If you mention this show, you get $1 off on the family pack, I might add. Coach Dan Gallus, who did you bring in with you this week?
We have with us, Jeff, number 37, Jason Klein. Jason is a junior for us, and he's played quite a bit of running back for us last year. He's been injured a little bit this year. He came back last year, and right before the game, I sang a little bit of Welcome Back Cotter to him because it was good to have him back.
Jason Klein, good to have you on the show, and yes, it is indeed for all North Glen fans at heart and across this great land that to have Jason Klein back on the football team is a good thing. Jason, while you were out, what thing? Well, let me start back there. Let's go back a little bit here. What actually put you out for the last few weeks?
Well, it was a pregame practice before Wasson, and we were running the Wasson offense, and I was blocking, and one of our big guys on our team fell on the outside of my leg and tore my medial collateral ligament.
Now, medial collateral, what kind of thing does that do for you in your leg?
Well, when you tear this, it's because you have pressure on the outside of your knee, and it'll make your foot or your leg weaker, and I've got to strengthen that.
Won't make it move in the directions, or it'll allow it to move in directions that it shouldn't be moving, right?
Yeah.
Basically, it should be moving like this, and it's moving from side to side. Well, that's not a good thing. I'm glad to have you back from that. We all are, of course. Strength and conditioning and school, you have to add in an extra cog there when you get hurt. Why don't you explain your day while you have an injury like that?
Well, it's been pretty tough lately. I go to school, and then right after school I hustle over to AMI, the Bronco trainer thing, and I'm there for about an hour and a half just doing general strengthening for my leg, a lot of flexions and extensions and a lot of work. And then after that, I get over to practice as soon as I can to get prepared for the game.
So not only do you have to go to school and go to practice every day, you have to go and work out and make sure that the legs put back together and you get back as quickly as possible. So I imagine that now you're back a little bit more, and you're not. Are you still in this mode of reconditioning for your leg here? Or?
Yeah, for a couple more weeks.
Couple more weeks. I'm sure you'll be glad to just have to worry about school and practice and get home and on a timely basis and get a little bit more time for yourself. Homework, has this held you back from a little bit as far as schoolwork at all this semester? Or?
No. The reason why I was trying to get it after school is so I wouldn't interfere with my schoolwork, and so far it hasn't.
That's good. The Broncos have a good way of, in AMI I should mention, have a good way of getting you in there when it's convenient to you so they can get you back out on the field and back into the classroom, I might add. Speaking of which, what type of classes, grade point averages are you carrying this year?
Well, I'm trying to make sure I'm prepared for college, and I'm in CP chemistry and Spanish 3, and those are pretty much my hardest classes, and hopefully those will be what I need.
So you have to, how long during the school day do you have to go then? Just, are you going?
I go 1 through 7.
So you're there the whole day. This is a long day. You're working overtime. You're not even getting paid for this too, I might add. Because dividends come at the end. Jason, you're supported by a large group of people, namely your family. How have they helped you through this whole thing?
Well, they've been there for me, and They put out a lot of money for me because I know all this therapy hasn't been cheap, and I really appreciate it. And they've been there for me through everything and just helped me to get back as soon as I can.
Doing extra chores around the house, carrying out the garbage, anything like that might help out, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. At home, everybody's saying, yes, he is. Very good. He's a fine gentleman, looking very sharp on our show tonight. Where do you buy your clothes, by the way? They're donations from everywhere.
The mall.
The mall, there you go. All right, well, Jason, anything that you'd like to mention about yourself that we don't know about already? Some deep hidden secret or something like that.
Deep hidden secret.
No secret.
No.
He's part of the rich and famous. Don't let him fool you. He's
I
on the
know
show
what I'd
weekly.
like to mention is my girlfriend's Jennifer Hunter, and we'll be having our 2-year anniversary this Wednesday.
All right. Now that's dedication. To be in high school and have a girlfriend for that long. That is really fun. Well, now you've had this girlfriend for 2 years, and that must date back even into junior high then a little bit.
Ninth grade.
That is great. We don't get that too often on this show. We can't give out your phone number then. Is that what the deal is here?
Yeah, no.
Speaking of phone numbers, 450-6988 is our phone number tonight. If you'd like to give us a call, please feel free to do so. We have a fine guest, as always, Dan Gallus, and of course tonight, Jason Klein. So if you have questions for either one of them, please feel free to give us a call. 450-6988. Quit watching that Monday night stuff. There ain't nothing on there better than this. Jason, by the way, getting ready for next year as far as senior classes, what kind of things will you have to prepare for coming from the sophomore to the junior to the senior year that you'll have to take for classes next year?
Well, mostly it's building classes, and like I said, I'm in Spanish 3, which I hope that'll prepare me. You know, you have to have foreign languages for college, and I'm trying to get as far as I can in math and science, biology or algebra 2 and CP chemistry. I'm hoping to get into physical therapy, and that I'll have to get some sort of pre-med degree to go into that, so I need as much
As you can get.
Yep.
Sounds like you're building a good, strong base for yourself, and some people want to ask you some questions, so if you don't mind, we'll go right to the phones.
Okay.
Caller, thank you for calling, and you're on the air. If you're still there. Maybe?
Nope, guess
Caller?
not.
People out there playing tricks out.
It's your voice, Jeff.
Is that what it is? Scares them right away. Don't worry, folks. Just call in. Oh, Jason, anybody at home that we've mentioned just about everybody down that I can think of here. Let's see, girlfriend, family. Wait a minute. Do we have another call? Can I pick this one up, Doug? We're going to be helter-skelter out here. Everybody's telling me, no, wait. Jason, anybody that you'd like to say hello to in specific tonight?
I just about mentioned everybody.
Everybody, Mom,
My
Dad.
folks, Mom, Dad. How you doing?
Thanks, Mr. Klein, for bringing Jason down tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
Boy, you guys are tricking me over here. I keep looking over, seeing some calls. Dan Gallus, when we get ready for Horizon, and you look down the highway here, not only do you have to look at one section of the highway, now you have to look up a little bit more farther north. What kind of chance do you have for the team to get them psyched up each week for this type of team?
Well, again, Jeff, I think that we need to take each game as an individual. They have different characteristics, and the one thing we're preaching this week is that we are going to play at our own level and not play at anybody else's level. We're going to make sure that we play the very best that we can and not try to belittle Horizon at all, because I think that they have a great potential to be a very good football team, and they've shown that over the weeks, playing some very good teams and playing them tough. You know, if they would have scored early in the Fort Collins game like they almost did, there probably could have been a different outcome.
All right, Dan, we're going to try this again.
Okay, let's give it a go.
Stay on the air. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, hi. I wanted to wish the North Glen Norsemen good luck against Horizon this week.
Thank you very much for calling. Can we help you out with anything in specific?
No, that's okay. Thanks.
Do you have a cheer or a poem or anything like that you'd like to not say at this time? If you do, call back.
Maybe they left. Thank you very much for that, for those well wishes.
We'll see. Now you have some supporters out there for you. The game again is at District 12. It's on Friday night, 7:30 start.
We will be a away team that night.
So you'll be sitting on the
east in the east stand. Horizon will be the home team, and so they'll be wearing their maroon, and we'll be wearing our whites.
The game itself, it really doesn't shape up to be anything real important, except that you're in the quest for the league championship, which is all in mighty the pursuit for everyone. But is there any little nuances that we should know about this game going into this week?
No, there's no nuances. We are just one game at a time. Every game is important to us. If we expect to be in the playoffs, which we always start out a season with, we must win every ball game, and each one is a playoff game in itself in relationship to, it's a must-win situation. We've got to go in there and just play our very best, and if we do that, I don't see a problem with us being in the hunt at the end of the season.
It is a very peculiar thing about high school football and college, too, that you only get a chance to play your division opponents once. You don't get a chance to go back and play on their field or bring them back to your field. So wherever you play, you have to go in there and say exactly the same thing that you did. This is a playoff game, folks.
Well, I would choose to say it the other way. I think the professional ranks have the peculiarity that you get to go from one home to the other. In college and in high school, you get one chance, and that's pretty much the way life is. You get one chance, and if you don't take advantage of it, usually those chances and opportunities are gone. And I think that that's what we try to do with the Norsemen football program, is to try and relate to lifetime situations and how football is so much like life, and try to draw those parallels and try to give the kids something to take with them after they leave our program.
Jason, any special memories or things that you'd like to get out of this week's football game that you will do? Let me make this a little bit more defined for you. What kind of things will you do for yourself each week to get prepared for a football game?
Well, right now, what I need to do is get into more hitting into practice and get through the whole practice and get a little bit more into shape. I've been out for 4 weeks and I'm a little out of condition.
Football conditioning is a little different than anything else that you'll do, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to get used. Not only do you have to get your legs prepared for the hit and coming from all directions, you have to get your mind ready for the hit. It's not nothing that you can just walk out there, put a helmet on, and do. Very tricky thing. You don't want to get too unused to that hitting out there.
Sure don't.
Now, during practice, has Dan gave you any special attention with that kind of thing at all? Sling a couple bags his way or something like that, or?
Well, they've been. If it's hurting me, they give me a rest, and been doing a lot of jogging, and I want to get out there and doing the conditioning because that's what I need.
Which nights are the toughest nights, Dan?
Well, we start out with the toughest night being Monday night, or Monday afternoon as it was today, because we didn't have any school. But we work our very hardest on Monday and Tuesday in terms of conditioning. Wednesday we start to taper it down and try to be like racehorses on Friday night.
All right. Well, very good. The game again, we'll do it one more time, 7:30 on Friday night against, we don't know really how Horizon will play. We'll have a good idea. We're going to take one call. We got a little less than 30 seconds. So let's go ahead and take this call. Yeah, I killed him. So we won't take this call.
You got that magic finger.
It's something. I don't know what it is. Maybe
Old
we
finger
need to.
doesn't have anything on you, Jeff. You just put them out of their misery right there.
We'll turn this football around next week and get the other side of things. This is Jeffrey Smith.
We're just going to have to pick up her pace a little bit. She's dragging a little bit in terms of the speed at which it's getting off. You can see that Horizon's getting a little bit close, but Barb is doing a super job. And as I've said before, I've just enjoyed having her on the football team. She's doing a real good job and fitting in just right, just right. Horizon punts the football, and Rob Levin elects not to receive it, and the ball is down there by Horizon at about the 45-yard line. We take over the football, and we just give on a lead play here to Jason Klein. Jason, we call him the water bug sometimes. He just kind of works his way up and weaves his way through the mess there of the Hawks. Drop back pass, and a lot of time again. And Jeff throws out here to Matt Holstrom again. There's a good look at a couple of offensive linemen. The bootleg outside here. And Jeff throws down the field to Lee Peters, who beats the Horizon defender and into the end zone for another 6.
Lee really sold that pattern too, because when he looked for the ball originally, that defender just looked and went for the fake, and Lee had another 20 yards to run downfield. Did a great job there.
Oh yeah, Lee's doing a super job. Lee didn't come out for football when he was a sophomore, except for when he came out late and didn't get a lot of playing time in. Then he didn't come out as a junior, and then he decided to come out this year, and we're real thankful that he did. There we get a good sack on their quarterback by Greg Lassen, number 75. We put pressure on the punter, and watch this. Rob Levin takes the football at about the 31. and he starts heading upfield. We see a clip right there at the beginning, and that calls this thing all the way back. But this is a super run. We get some great blocks, and Rob Levin goes the distance, and you'll see some excited Norsemen down here in the end zone to greet him as they finally catch up to him right there.
J.J. Bennett
A little
taking
bit
things
of
in hand.
exuberance. It's too bad that it had to come back because we've worked so hard on trying to get that thing in the end zone, and Rob does a great job of returning for us. Here we go with Ricky Romero down the field. Ricky is leading the league in rushing right now, and he's only a sophomore, and I'm so impressed by his play and his constant desire to improve. There's a good look at Jeff again, and here we go with the power play to Ricky, and we got some great look at the block, and he's got downfield. That is super. That is super. The one thing that I've really been impressed by our offensive line this last week was our downfield blocking, and if we can continue that, we're going to have a lot of success in a running game. There's a good look at Barb. Bam. Puts it right through.
She can really get a lot of snap into that ball, too.
She is a very good kicker. And the final score ended up 28-0, North Glen. And right here we're on a defensive play, and we force the bad pass, and Steve Newkirk, number 98, catches the football for what we call a Katie. We call it an interception Katie. It's just a communication type thing on the field, and Steve catches the football, and he was real happy about that.
Final good play there for the North Glen Norsemen. Your first impression about the Horizon Hawks